In a world where privilege clashes with passion, one woman's fairy tale spirals into a nightmare of betrayal. Ji-eun, a wealthy heiress, tosses aside her family's expectations to marry for love, only to return from a business trip and find her heart shattered by the ultimate treachery, her husband entwined with her best friend. As scandal erupts, Ji-eun picks up the pieces of her life, unwittingly stepping into a new love with a billionaire CEO who has been waiting in the wings. But just as hope blossoms, a surprise pregnancy ignites a whirlwind of emotions. Will Ji-eun find happiness again, or is betrayal an inescapable shadow that haunts her? Discover the journey of love, loss, and resilience in Shadows of Betrayal. Seoul sparkled under the early morning sun, its skyline a testament to ambition and dreams. In her father's opulent penthouse, Ji-eun adjusted the silk scarf around her neck, the fabric as luxurious as the life to which she was born. The weight of her family's expectations settled heavily on her shoulders. For as long as she could remember, her life had been scripted, a future filled with boardroom meetings, business galas, and a marriage to a powerful CEO selected by her parents. But beneath the polished surface, her heart yearned for something different. Why can't I choose my destiny? Ji-eun sighed, staring out at the city bustling with life. Memories of Min-ho flooded her mind, each moment vibrant with the laughter and love they shared on stolen evenings away from the scrutinizing eyes of her family. He was a breath of fresh air, the calm in her otherwise tempestuous life. They met in an art gallery, where he admired the colors on canvas while she admired the passion in his eyes. It was a moment that ignited a fire between them, a connection that felt timeless and unyielding. At brunch that day, the familiar clinking of silverware echoed across the lavish dining table. Her mother's voice cut through the chatter, authoritative and unwavering. Ji-eun, it's time we discussed the merger with Joon-suk Corporation. You need to meet him. A union with their CEO could secure your future. Her heart sank, drowned under the pressure of the looming engagement. That's just not what I want, mother. Ji-eun replied, too fiercely for her own good. The silence that followed felt electric, her father's stare like daggers. She could feel her rebellion brewing, but pride and fear wrestled within her. In the days that followed, Ji-eun found refuge in Min-ho. With him, she shared her dreams, fears, and even the weight of her family's expectations. Would he still love her if she chose to defy her family for him? Late into the night, beneath a canopy of stars, he took her hands in his, warmth spreading through her like a whisper of hope. You deserve to be happy, Ji-eun. We can find our own way, Min-ho assured her, his eyes alight with conviction. In that moment, she made the decision that would change everything, to follow her heart, no matter the cost. As Ji-eun looked into Min-ho's eyes, she felt the thrill of rebellion against her carefully crafted life. Unknown to her, shadows of betrayal were lurking, waiting to unravel the delicate tapestry she had woven. The heart knows no bounds, but destiny was preparing to intervene in ways she could never foresee. Little did she know, the true weight of expectations had only just begun to reveal itself. Ji-eun's secret love story unfolded like a beautiful tapestry, hidden from the sharp gaze of her family. With each stolen kiss and whispered promise, her heart swelled with hope, daring to envision a life crafted by love's hand rather than traditions. The intoxicating power of their connection emboldened her spirit as the weeks turned into months, and the yearning for a future with Min-ho solidified in her mind. They spoke of dreams, of building a world untouched by societal constraints. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting a golden hue over the city, Ji-eun made the fateful decision that would alter the course of her life. With starry eyes, she wed Min-ho in a clandestine ceremony, surrounded only by the warmth of their love. In that moment, wrapped in each other's embrace, she felt invincible, convinced that love could conquer all. But reality soon threatened to crash down upon their bliss. Ji-eun juggled the intricate balance between her opulent family life and Min-ho's modest existence. Her parents remained oblivious, living in a world of their creation, while she struggled beneath the weight of secrecy. Dinners with family felt like elaborate performances, each laugh strained, each smile laced with anxiety. They desired the perfect match for their daughter, a union solidified by social standing, not genuine affection. Yet, love has a peculiar way of providing clarity amidst chaos. Each closeted moment with Minho reinforced her beliefs, giving her the strength to defy convention. Together, they navigated the tumultuous waters of societal expectations. They believed that their love would ultimately prove victorious, defying family tradition for a bond that felt destined. But unbeknownst to her, the shadow of betrayal loomed, whispering threats of disruption that would soon plunge their world into despair. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over Seoul, Ji-eun found herself caught in a whirlwind of emotions. The pain of betrayal still gnawed at her heart, the image of Minho entwined with Hae-jin haunted her thoughts. She had always trusted Hae-jin, her confidant since childhood, but betrayal ran deeper than any friendship could fathom. The facade of a perfect life began to crumble around her as Ji-eun realized that the stunning world she inhabited was riddled with secrets just beneath the surface. In this storm of chaos, she found refuge in her work. Ji-eun dove headfirst into her responsibilities at her family's company, channeling her anguish into her ambitions. However, even as she excelled, a shadow lurked in the back of her mind, the fear that she couldn't escape the echoes of her past. The whispers of her family and society filled her ears, reminding her of her duties, her image, and her expectations. Yet, in the quiet hours, she found herself contemplating the unthinkable. What if she were to leave all of this behind? The life she had been forced into, the expectations placed upon her by a world that did not know her secret struggles. Symbolically, the bustling city outside her window mirrored her internal battles, each flickering light representing a choice yet to be made. One evening, while reviewing corporate plans in her office, she received a message from Joon-suk. He wanted to meet. A barely contained excitement fluttered in her chest, a stark contrast to the turmoil plaguing her mind. She was surprised by her eagerness to see him. Was it hope or merely desperation? They met at the upscale cafe where they'd had their first stirring conversation. As they sipped aromatic coffee, Ji-eun began to share her story, inch by cautious inch, unveiling the layers of her pain. With every word, Joon-suk listened intently, his unwavering gaze providing a safe harbor in the stormy sea of her emotions. Here, in this moment of vulnerability, Ji-eun felt a connection that transcended mere attraction. She realized that perhaps love could thrive in the shadows of despair, growing stronger in the spaces where pain had once resided. The weight of secrets began to lift as hope glimmered in her heart, lingering like a soft light promising renewal. Have you ever found yourself battling expectations and unearthing the secrets hidden in the shadows? Share your own experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's explore together how love can emerge stronger from life's unexpected trials. Ji-eun stood frozen at the threshold of her apartment, her heart racing as despair settled in the pit of her stomach. The vibrant colors of her life felt suddenly dulled, as if the world had shifted into shades of gray. The night she thought would welcome her back with open arms now stood in bleak starkness. Minho, once a beacon of love and support, lay entwined with Hae-jin, her confidant and cousin, in a tableau of betrayal that obliterated her reality. Minho, she screamed, the sound reverberating across the space that once held warmth and laughter. He turned to her, his eyes widening in shock, but it was too late to salvage any semblance of their love. Anguish bloomed into furious rage, igniting a tempest within her. How could this happen? Each moment of laughter and shared dreams had been a lie, a carefully woven tapestry of deception. Ji-eun, wait. It's not what it looks like. Minho's panicked voice strained against her rising storm. Hae-jin, clutching a blanket, could hardly meet her gaze, the guilt dripping from her eyes. It was the ultimate betrayal, breaking the trust that had anchored her life. Ji-eun felt her heart wrench, crumbling like dry leaves in autumn. She had fought so valiantly to protect this love, but it was now a facade collapsed under the weight of betrayal. In a haze, she fled the scene, tears cascading down her cheeks as she ran into the bustling streets of Seoul. The city, once a backdrop of shared dreams, now felt foreign and hostile. She wandered aimlessly, grief mixing with anger. Ji-eun found herself at a park, her sanctuary in the past. Sitting alone on a bench, she fought sobs, painfully aware that life as she knew it had been irrevocably changed. Days passed, the public fallout from her broken marriage creeping into every corner of her existence. Gossip spread like wildfire, intertwining her name with scandal and whispers of betrayal. The pain morphed into fury, a fierce determination to reshape her story began to take root. One evening, as she gazed into the mirror, she barely recognized herself, a reflection of heartache and shattered dreams. "I won't be a victim," Ji-eun promised herself. With steely resolve, she began developing a plan. No longer content to be merely a pawn in the games of others, Ji-eun decided to reclaim her narrative. Empowered by newfound anger, she dove into her career with conviction, determined to ensure her voice would resound in the boardroom, where decisions about her life were made. While things at home felt chaotic, her professional life flourished. She focused her energy on expanding her family's business, turning it into an empire founded on innovation and integrity. The whispers of betrayal soon turned into murmurs of admiration, as Ji-eun emerged as a force of nature, no longer just the heiress of a legacy, but a businesswoman carving her own path. The echo of betrayal reverberated in Ji-eun's mind, each heartbeat a reminder of her shattered trust. The lavish apartment, once a haven of love and laughter, now felt like a dark labyrinth filled with memories of her once happy life. She stood motionless, her hands trembling as she recalled the moments of intimacy shared with Minho, the whispered promises of forever that now felt like cruel mockery. Days stretched into an aching blur as Ji-eun grappled with the realities of her life post-divorce. Friends' sympathy often felt like pity, and her family's insistence on propriety became chains rather than comfort. She buried herself in her career, finding solace in her work, yet the nagging void remained. One afternoon, while finalizing a project, Joon-suk appeared unexpectedly at her office. His presence was a soothing balm, his gentle smile inviting her to lower her guard. "You seem lost, Ji-eun," he said, his eyes piercing through her facade. Nervously, she confessed her turmoil. To her surprise, he listened intently, his unwavering support wrapping around her like a warm blanket on a chilly evening. As weeks turned into months, their late-night work sessions turned into something more profound. Joon-suk brought laughter into her life, igniting a spark she had thought extinguished. However, no amount of laughter could erase the scars left by Minho's betrayal. Ji-eun found herself wrestling with her heart. Could she truly trust again? Joon-suk's patience was unyielding, allowing Ji-eun to explore her emotions without judgment. One fateful evening, as they strolled through a sun-drenched park, a weight of vulnerability enveloped Ji-eun. "I'm afraid, Joon-suk," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "Afraid to love again." His response was humble yet powerful. "Love is not meant to be perfect. It's about sharing both joy and pain." In that moment, he reached for her hand, weaving their fingers together, a promise that he would not falter. With each day, Ji-eun found herself gradually rising from the ashes of her past. Joon-suk remained a steadfast presence, an anchor that helped guide her through the stormy seas of self-doubt she encountered. The once silent corners of her heart began to shimmer with newfound hope. One crisp morning, a realization struck her like the dawn's first light. Perhaps this was the time to reclaim her narrative, not as an heiress wrapped in expectations but as a woman defined by her choices. With determination ignited, Ji-eun set goals for herself. She began networking with influential entrepreneurs, attending workshops, and exploring innovative ideas to expand her family's business, her own vision rather than one dictated by her parents. Joon-suk's unwavering support was evident as he often joined her on late-night brainstorming sessions, sharing insights and sparking her creativity. They became an unstoppable team, blending their aspirations and decorum. With every step taken, Ji-eun felt greater strength coursing through her veins. The bitter taste of betrayal was becoming a distant memory. As their professional lives intertwined, Ji-eun felt a deepening connection with Joon-suk. One night, under a tapestry of stars, she found herself confessing her fears of judgment from others. "Will they see me as a mere heiress, or will they recognize the woman I am becoming?" she pondered aloud. Joon-suk squeezed her hand gently and replied, "You define who you are, Ji-eun. Your journey, resilience, and passion are what truly matter." His words echoed in her mind, dissolving her insecurities and fanning the flames of her burgeoning confidence. In a world filled with uncertainties, Ji-eun had discovered the strength to rise again, not just for herself, but but for the child nestled within her, a new life of endless possibility. Each day, she learned that every setback could be a setup for an inspiring comeback. The shadows of her past were dimming as her heart began to embrace the light of a future filled with hope, love, and the promise of a family she always dreamed of. Together, Ji-eun and Joon-suk stood on the cusp of their new life, ready to embark on a beautiful journey ahead. Life took on a vibrant hue for Ji-eun as she embraced her newfound reality. The past year had been a tempest, but now, warmth blossomed within her, a gentle reminder of the miracle growing inside. Joon-suk, with his unwavering support, became a beacon of hope in her darkest hours. They spent evenings discussing their shared dreams, painting vivid images of the future they longed to build. Together, they took weekend trips around serene locations, where they could escape the chaos of Seoul's fast-paced life. Joon-suk would often lay his hand on her belly, whispering sweet promises to the baby they were yet to meet. It was a surreal shift, yet every heartbeat reminded Ji-eun that she was not just healing from her past but beginning anew. However, the weight of Ji-eun's family loomed over their happiness. Her parents, unaware of her engagement to Joon-suk, maintained a lifestyle steeped in tradition. The pressure to return to their ideals swirled around her, threatening to pull her back into a world where love did not dictate destiny. Ji-eun understood this choice was hers alone to make, one that would impact not just her future but that of her child. Unable to ignore the nagging concern about her family's acceptance of Joon-suk, Ji-eun finally introduced him during a family dinner. Her father's disapproval was palpable, and her mother's disappointment weighed heavily in the air. Yet, Joon-suk remained resolute, presenting himself with confidence and respect. His poised demeanor sparked a flicker of curiosity in her parents, leaving Ji-eun hopeful, even amidst the tension. Little did she know, as hearts clashed over tradition, a tender connection would blossom in unexpected ways. This new chapter in her life was steadily unfolding, showcasing the beauty that arises when love is steadfast, embracing the path ahead with determination and grace. As the weeks passed, Ji-eun found herself swept into a whirlwind of preparations and anticipation. Despite her family's somber acceptance of her relationship with Joon-suk, she was determined to prioritize the joy of motherhood above all else. With each passing day, her belly grew, signaling new life and hope. One rainy afternoon, Ji-eun stood by the window, watching droplets race down the glass, each one a reflection of her emotions. She smiled, remembering Joon-suk's tender touch and the laughter they shared. Just then, her phone buzzed, a message announcing a surprise party from Joon-suk that evening. Excitement surged through her, momentarily pushing away worries. The venue was an intimate rooftop garden, adorned with soft twinkling lights and blooms that painted the air with sweetness. Guests were a charming blend of close friends and allies who had supported them in their journey. As Ji-eun walked in, she was met with cheers and warm embraces, melting her apprehensions. Joon-suk, sporting a bright grin and a twinkling gaze, approached her, holding a small velvet box. "For you," he said, his voice imbued with sincerity. Anxiety rippled through Ji-eun as she opened the box, revealing a delicate necklace emblazoned with the letter E, symbolizing not just her name but the empowerment embracing her identity. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the depth of Joon-suk's understanding of her struggles and triumphs. She wrapped her arms around him, feeling grateful for the unexpected gift of love, commitment, and new beginnings. As night fell, laughter and music filled the air. Ji-eun realized that every moment, every challenge she had faced, had led to this beautiful blessing, her child, her love, and the unbreakable bond they were forging together. A fresh chapter was beginning, one ripe with promise and the light of their shared journey illuminating the path ahead. As Ji-eun embraces the unexpected gift of love and life, we are reminded of the beauty that emerges from the most challenging circumstances. Just like her journey, our stories are woven with threads of hope, resilience, and connection. Join us on this emotional journey and be inspired by tales that celebrate love, courage, and new beginnings. Subscribe now to discover more heartfelt stories that resonate, uplift, and illuminate the complexities of life. Your next favorite story is just a click away. As Ji-eun stood by the window, the soft light of dawn spilled into her apartment, illuminating the tiny shoes she'd placed on the dresser. The weight of her impending motherhood felt both exhilarating and daunting. In the days following Joon-suk's unwavering commitment, a gentle, fragile excitement slowly blossomed within her, weaving itself into the very fabric of her daily life. Her days were no longer defined by shadows of betrayal but replaced with vibrant dreams of her future. Joon-suk had transformed into not just a partner, but a beacon of hope. Their conversations grew deeper, discussing everything from baby names to shared values, visions for a family that reflected kindness and love. However, Ji-eun couldn't completely silence the whispers of doubt that echoed in her mind. Memories of Minho's betrayal haunted her, clawing back with reminders of the fragility of love. Would she relinquish her heart to Joon-suk only to find it shattered once more? Yet, as she watched him, his gentle hands caressing her growing belly, she began to trust in the new love that enveloped her. In the quiet moments, Ji-eun caught herself smiling more often, buoyed by the dreams woven into every heartbeat. She visited her parents, letting them know about the baby. While their initial reaction was mixed, their eventual acceptance reminded her that family dynamics could evolve. Perhaps forgiveness wasn't just a distant dream, but a possibility waiting on the horizon. As the seasons changed, Ji-eun's belly grew round with life. Her bond with Joon-suk deepened, grounded in shared experiences, mutual trust, and genuine affection. They would often stroll through the bustling streets of Seoul, Joon-suk's arm wrapped securely around her, as they dreamed about the child they were bringing into the world. That morning, as the sun peeked over the skyline, Ji-eun felt a surge of overwhelming love for Joon-suk. The shadows of her past began to fade, replaced by a love reborn, vibrant and true. The day of Ji-eun and Joon-suk's wedding arrived, shimmering with all the promise of a new beginning. The venue was adorned in soft pastels, a beautiful testament to their journey through heartache and renewal. Friends and family gathered, oohing and awing at the resplendent couple standing at the altar, Ji-eun's baby bump subtly accentuated in her elegantly flowing gown. As they exchanged vows, Ji-eun felt a tide of emotions, joy mixing with gratitude. Joon-suk's gaze, brimming with sincerity, reminded her of how far they had come. "I promise to cherish you and our child, to fight for our love through every storm," he declared, his words wrapping around her heart. Ji-eun responded with equal fervor, affirming the union with vows that echoed her hopes for a future filled with warmth and understanding. Their reception was filled with laughter and music, the air thick with goodwill. As Ji-eun danced with her father, she felt a sense of closure wash over her. The years of tension with her parents seemed to dissipate in light of the joy surrounding her. Forgiveness mingled with love as they embraced, signaling a new chapter in familial relationships. In the following months, Ji-eun and Joon-suk faced the trials of impending parenthood together. They decorated the nursery and sought advice from friends, but most importantly, they leaned into each other, embraced vulnerability, and learned the art of teamwork. Navigating sleepless nights and pregnancy cravings brought them closer than ever. Embracing their future became a shared mission. Ji-eun established a charity in honor of the child, focusing on providing resources for struggling parents. It was a manifestation of her past pain turned into purpose, a symbol of her rebirth. As they welcomed their child into the world, Ji-eun looked down into the tiny face before her. In that moment, she recognized that love wasn't just about grand gestures but in the small, everyday commitments. The past no longer bound her, instead, it shaped how resilient love could be. Together, they stepped forward, ready to embrace the beautiful uncertainty that lay ahead, hand in hand, hearts open.